Hey y'all, it's Megan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with us today. We got a little bit of this and that going on. What you gonna be doing today?
Well, first things first, I got to get the farm all set up, and I'm gonna go cultivate through the potatoes, and I'm probably gonna put a little bit more fertilizer by them as I do it.
You gonna do that this morning?
I'm gonna do that right now, and then whenever that gets done, I'm going to the garden and see if I can't get it finished up.
All right.
I reckon all we got left to plant in that garden for now is cucumbers, and then we'll set up them teepees to do our green beans on, and maybe...
So we are gonna use the teepees?
Yeah, for the green beans.
I knew we were like...
Yeah, I think I will
up
for the
in the
green
air.
beans. And that's one thing, we're not planting a ton of green beans this year because we have so many.
Yeah, Andy went down in the
cans
basement
left.
the other day and he's like, you weren't kidding when you said we don't need many green beans this year.
So we're just going to set up a couple of those teepees y'all saw last year that we put the black-eyed peas on. We're going to set those up for the green beans. It'll give us enough to have fresh green beans, and we'll probably still can some
Yeah,
off
I
of
mean,
it,
I ain't gonna let them go to waste. That's how I've accumulated so many, because I'm
Yeah.
like, I ain't gonna let them go to waste. If I got extra, like, they're going in the canner. So.
Well, the last couple of years we've not planted a ton of green beans because we just have so many of them left over.
Yeah.
Green beans just put off a lot.
They do, and I mean, we eat green beans at least, what, once or twice a week?
I feel like it anyways.
Sometimes more than
I
that.
feel like we eat them all the
Yeah,
time.
so, I mean, it ain't like they ain't getting eat, but they ain't hurting nothing down there in them jars, so.
Nah. But anyways, yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is get that tractor ready and go do that. Well, I know y'all probably wondering why in the world I put that strap across there. It's going to scratch my hood. But the reason is because I know y'all have seen on previous videos, these plows sink down when I don't have a tractor running. So I've decided, instead of sitting here with the tractor running and having to listen to the tractor run and the potential of it rolling or whatever, I'm just going to put me a strap across that so I can change these out. So what I'm after now is I'm putting these shanks on here, and these will roll just a little bit of dirt. These are the same ones I used when I planted the potatoes to wrap them back up. They don't throw near as much dirt as the discs do. However, I'm not ready to throw that much dirt yet. I want to let my potatoes get on up just a little bit more size to them before I really go in there and really hill them up. But this ought to throw enough dirt to cover up what weeds are coming in between the potatoes right now. I have cultivated through the potatoes one time before with just these regular straight shanks on here. Well, hopefully that's tight enough. And the main reason I try to get them cuffs locked in so tight is because I have had them tight before and think they're tight, and they fall out while you're in the field. And if you ain't paying attention, you'll end up running over it. There's what that looks like. Like I said, same setup I had when I was planting potatoes. And like I said, those shanks right there will just roll some dirt over. They're not going to roll a ton of dirt over. At least, I don't think they will. If they do, that's okay. Now on the back, I want to talk about this for a second. Because typically, at least not around here, you don't see people run what you call these scratchers behind the tires. Usually you've got those up underneath the tractor. And the reason I'm running these back there is because I don't want to create a really big fur in the field in between the rows, because this particular field slopes downhill, and if I create a really big fur there, I'm scared if we get a really hard rain, I'll create a lot of washout and erosion in between my rows. So I'm going to try to minimize that, because typically behind your tires you just put a sweep on, which is this right here, and typically you just put one of those sweeps like that on, and with those you can create somewhat of a like a ditch in the field, and I don't really want that. I just want something to knock the tractor tracks down and leave it at that. So y'all might remember when we planted those potatoes, I told you I didn't think I put enough fertilizer by them. And that field that they're in is a little bit poorer land than where we've typically been growing potatoes, but I wanted to rotate this year. So I just want to top dress them with just a little bit more. I'm gonna go get 2 bags of triple 14. And there's a couple of y'all have really been asking what kind of camera mount I'm using when I'm riding the tractors and stuff. And this is it right here. It's just a magnetic mount. Got it off of Amazon. It rolls around in several different directions. So you can literally stick it in any direction you want. And you can take these newer iPhones. They have an action mode on them. And it sort of turns your iPhone into a GoPro. Because without that action mode, the footage is just really shaky. Anytime it's on something running, you get a lot of vibration through it. But when you turn it on action mode, it takes all that stuff away. I thought it was the coolest thing ever when I first discovered I could do that. So I hope y'all have been enjoying that type of stuff, because I know I sure have enjoyed recording it for everybody. I'll go ahead and pour 1 bag in this hopper. We don't really have a good place to store it on this tractor to ride up the road with it. This fertilizer is what I had left over from fertilizing the hay fields. And that's exactly what I was saving it for. It's for either planting field corn or if I needed it on the garden stuff. Are you gonna hold 2 bags? Oh, heck yeah. It's been a while since I'd filled it to the top. I forgot that thing would hold 2 bags of fertilizer. All right. We have a major difference in the way each little plot of land that we farm grows. None of them grow stuff the same way. Some of them require a lot less nutrients than others. And some of them just simply do a lot better. This field I've got the potatoes in right now is probably one of the poorest fields that we have on our land. Even though it's right beside where we've been growing our potatoes, it's a totally different soil structure over there. All right, let's go see what kind of mess we can make. This soil is at the perfect moisture content to be working right now. Yes, it is a little bit cloddy in that spot. But look at this. You can't even tell we had 4/10 of rain less than 18 hours ago. It's crazy. There are a few of them that are sort of getting wrapped up. That's okay with potatoes. Them things can stand to get wrapped up. They'll come back out. They'll push through the dirt that gets thrown over top of them. These these little alarms here, if y'all haven't seen those in the past, they're a motion detector, and they go off anytime something walks by them. And that's what we're using to keep the deer out of this potato patch, and so far it's worked. We used them some last year, but I'd never used them up here. I got one on this end and one down there in that bottom corner. Guys, so far they are working great keeping the deer out. So fingers crossed that continues to work. But I'll post a link to those on Amazon if any of y'all are interested in them. But they'll scare the snot out of you too. All right, I'll get back at it. There we are. There's one chore done for today. Wouldn't hurt to come up here and pull up some of that stuff. That's some of what was left of the cover crop. We've definitely got a few scraggly spots in this potato patch, that's for sure. Along the center of this field didn't come up that great. And there's one spot right down there at the bottom that didn't come up that great. And I'm not gonna lie, it was somewhat to be expected because, like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the poorest fields that we got. The type of soil in this field ranges dramatically from here to down there. Hopefully that fertilizer I put by them, they get a good shower of rain on it, and these things are going to be kicking it. And next time I come up here and cultivate them, I'll put the disc on and really throw the dirt to them, and they'll be done until it comes time to get them up. Used almost all of that fertilizer. So I put almost 100 pounds this go around. As soon as I get done using this thing, I immediately start washing the fertilizer off of it, because if that fertilizer gets damp or anything in any way before you get it off of there, you're gonna cause something to rust. While I'm at it, I'm gonna give this thing a quick spraying off. She's got plumb filthy sitting under the barn shelter. I tell you one thing though, one thing I have noticed up there that I forgot to mention while we was up there showing y'all just now. I have not seen the first potato bug on them potatoes yet. And that was the whole reason we rotated them this year, was because the potatoes last year, my goodness, it was a chore keeping the bugs off of them, keeping the potato bugs off. But I mean, I won't lie, I know people around here who have planted their potatoes in the same spot for 50 years. We'll let her sit there and dry. I guess now we'll go get started on the garden. I went ahead and run the tiller through this other spot right here, just simply because, well, number one, we've already had rain since the last time this was tilled, and that means that that weed cycle has already got started. There was stuff out here, I've already seen it, that was germinating, and so we kind of want to get that out of the way. And then number two, this will give that soil just a little bit better chance to dry out just a little bit more before we go to planting, because right now it is in pretty good shape, but it could stand to dry out just a little before we're out here walking all over it and packing it down. So what do we got left that's going to be out here in this garden?
Cucumbers, which will be over here.
Right. And green beans. We're going to fix them teepees for the green beans. But then you wanted to try to put a row of black-eyed peas out here too, right?
They got to have something to climb up, though.
We'll make a trellis for them. So pretty much it's just 3 more things that's got to go out here. Is that right?
Yeah.
Popcorn, sweet potatoes.
The peppers are going to go over there.
Peppers are going to be in a raised bed, and pumpkins will be down there across the creek. They done so good down there last year. I think
we'll just do it again.
Do that again this year. This will be where the black-eyed peas will go.
And we ain't going to plant them yet?
We won't. I mean, I guess we could.
I kind of feel like we might as well while we're out here.
Yeah, it's hot enough, ain't it? Okay, well, we'll do that. All right.
We got 2 good hands here that are good seed sprinklers.
They put them a little bit on the thick side. This is what this hoe right here is made for.
Yeah, doing it that way.
Digging out a fur like that so you can drop seeds in.
How far apart are we supposed to put these? I can't remember.
Just lay them in a row. Just don't plant them on top of each other. Don't do them like y'all done the green peas.
Yeah.
You hear that, Maggie?
You want me to show you? Yeah, there you go. Jacob's a good planter. Yeah. Now it's your turn. Get you a handful. You go out there where Jacob ended. Jacob, you did pretty good. Go out there where Jacob ended and do them. If you see any empty spots, drop some in there. We don't need no cedar. Good job. It all looks good.
They look pretty good, y'all.
Look at all these seeds we got.
I know. You was worried we wasn't keeping enough.
I know. That's probably enough, darling. But I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of people love the pink-eyed peas, which I love them too, but I thought the black-eyed peas were just as good.
Absolutely.
They're different. Even though they're both these peas, they each have their own unique flavor.
Yep.
I've always liked black-eyed peas. These teepees, we actually made them out of river cane last year. Over down by the river where we mow our hay at.
They have degraded just a little bit, so I hope they hold up this year.
But these made awesome trellises last year, and they're so pretty.
Well, I think that's more or less the whole thing of it, is they look different. They're pretty. Those black-eyed peas, while they grew up them last year, they didn't grip quite like a green bean does.
And we ended
up... And
they
would slide down, so we ended up having to wrap strings around them so they'd have something to hold on to.
I guess we'll just wait and see if these green beans decide they're going to take hold of it.
I'm going to say the green beans will climb it just fine.
They'll climb anything they can get a hold of.
Yeah.
Is that straight?
Make sure we got them in the ground pretty good. That way the wind don't blow them over. Ain't them pretty?
Plum cute. Did you say 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2 or 3, 4. I got 4 around that right there.
Ever how many I want to?
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's 4 right there. And so this year, y'all, which we've planted them in the past, we're planting Kentucky Blue Wonders.
And I canned some last year to see if we would like them canned, because usually my canning beans are the jade beans. I like Kentucky Wonders as fresh eating beans. But we planted these last year, and I did can some instead of just eating them fresh, and they made good canned beans.
They were good.
So
They're good fresh too.
yeah, and they're good fresh. The Kentucky Wonders are still my favorite fresh, but
Which I don't even. Jacob's gonna have some in his garden. I don't
Yeah.
know that we're gonna plant any this year.
oh, I'm sure he'll let Mama have some.
Oh yeah. Now if you're looking for a bush type bean, I highly recommend a jade bean.
Yeah. We're just changing it up a little bit. We've planted jade beans for so long, and I do not like to pick them.
Yeah, picking a bush beans where it ain't fun.
I got burnt out one year when we were selling a bunch of produce, and I was working, Andy was working even more than I was, a lot. And we were trying to grow all this garden and sell a bunch of produce. And one day I picked, was it 5 bushels?
Something like that.
4 or 5 bushels of them bush beans in a day. And after that, ever since then, I said, I don't ever care if I ever see another bush bean.
I know when I come in from work that day, that's exactly what you told me. You're like, I'm never picking another green bean ever.
Because
if I'm not mistaken, you started early that morning and didn't get finished till on up in the day.
Yeah, we had to be in the kids, and see, the kids were little. And so I was looking after the little, you know how needy little ones are. And trying to do that, and we had to come back and eat lunch because I still wasn't done. I picked them green beans that day every which way except standing on my head.
Fun times, wasn't it?
That broke me from wanting to sell produce.
Some of them I got 5 beans on.
Yeah, after seeing how many we're putting around these, this is going to be plenty. If they all make and put off like they should.
I don't know, I'm telling you. Even though we've had somewhat of a dry season so far, I still got that feeling that this year
It's going to be a good year.
is going to be the best year that North Carolina has seen in a very long time for growing.
Well, we had the perfect winter.
We did. We had a great winter. Winter was like winter's supposed to be. And I just got that feeling. I don't know. Well, I like how that looks, and Megan, that's going to give us a lot of room. We're going to have like 2 more rows worth of room right here, 2 half rows. So what we're planning on doing is right along the edge of the garden here. I'm not even going to leave enough room to till. I'm going to have it right along the edge is where we're going to plant our cucumbers this year. And where the young'uns and Megan both like eating cucumbers as snacks, that's going to have them cucumbers right on this pathway right here, to the point that even if it's rained, we've had monsoons, they can get out here and easily pick cucumbers to snack on.
Yeah, Jacob would need his weight in cucumbers.
And in years past, we've planted 2 trellis fulls of cucumbers, but this year...
Well, see, I alternate though. I alternate years. So last year I made my 14-day pickles. I need lots of cucumbers for the 14-day pickles because try to make 2 years worth.
Right.
This year is spaghetti sauce year, so
We gotta have more tomatoes.
More tomatoes, which is what we've got. So the only pickles I'll really be making this year is I may make a few jars of them sweet gherkins. They were really good.
And some deals.
And my dill pickles.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't need a ton of cucumbers.
All right. And the thing with them dill pickles too is you can fix a jar at a time, can't you?
Yep, that's
Where
exactly
these
how I do
14-day
it.
pickles, you got to have a whole bucket full.
I do my crock full, yeah.
So it don't matter.
Because, well, they take so long, you want to do a bunch at one time because you don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a process, and it's easier if you just do it all at one time.
That
And them
makes
dill
sense.
pickles, I can just, a jar at a time if I have to. So.
Well, how we do our cucumbers is we usually put up these cattle panels and let them run up it. Used to, we let our cucumbers sprawl out on the ground, and they'd always get trampled.
Always, they
And
get blight or whatever.
yeah.
They'd look awful.
After we started trellising our cucumbers, that was the best thing ever. They end up lasting a whole lot longer.
Yeah, except for last year. They dried up and died.
Well, last year was a tough year. We was lucky we
I
made anything.
still had plenty of pickles, but remember they didn't last, what'd they last, 3 weeks last year once they really started putting off?
It seems like it, yeah, because they were already getting blight on them before we even got
Before I
started
even
with
got
them.
any.
Like I said, last year was
It was rough.
I I hope was like a once in a every few year kind of year.
It was tough.
Look, I'm not going to tell anybody how to do anything. Anything y'all ever see on our videos is just how we do it. But that's one suggestion I can make, is if you're going to grow cucumbers, trellis them.
You want me to come out there and hold that?
Just hold it up, and we'll have to have a post in the middle, and we'll put another one on the end.
All right.
Then we'll go on down and keep doing that. That's a short one.
Yep.
I hope them zip ties are enough to hold that up.
Oh, we just doing one piece?
No, I'm just going to go ahead and get this end leveled up. And then we'll go back and put more on it.
I need to go through and pick through our strawberries. Where are we going, to the end?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this. Megan had to run in the house real quick for a minute, but we got the trellis system put up here, and I guess I'm just going to keep on keeping on. We'll go ahead and start digging out the holes for the cucumber seeds. One thing about using a trellis like this, you can typically put your seeds a whole lot closer together than if you were just planting them out on the ground. Or planting them so that they're going to run out on the ground, I mean. You get to grow more in a smaller space. There's rocks everywhere on this upper end of the garden. They are flat awful up here. Most of these seeds that we've got are actually pretty old. This one right here was packed for 2020. So there is a chance that they don't come up. So I'm going to put probably more than I would normally put per hole. I'm going to put about 4 or 5 seeds per hole. And these are national pickling cucumbers. But if these ain't up in a few days, probably if they ain't up in a week's time, I'll know I need to come back out here with some fresh seeds. So the market mores I've got right here is a pack that's never been opened, and they're from 2023. So they should still be real good. I'm just going to barely wrap these up. Put about an inch of dirt over them. And for anybody curious, I've planted these things about right at a foot apart. Close to it anyways. All right, there it is. What's going to get planted for now is planted. I'm going to go grab me a bag of fertilizer, and I'm going to go ahead and throw a handful down by each one of these plants, because I'm going to be honest with y'all. We ain't supposed to get no rain today, but looking at that sky, and as humid as it's got out here, if we don't get rain today, we're missing a really good chance. So I want to go ahead and get this stuff fertilized before the rain comes. So what I like using out here in this garden is that right there. For the most part, I use organic fertilizer in this garden, unless I'm growing something like corn, which is a very heavy feeder anyways. But with all of our garden vegetables here, we're going to put this by them. And I just throw me out a gracious handful by each plant. We've had pretty good luck with it out here in this garden. One thing about this organic fertilizer, you don't have to worry about it burning your plants up either. You can sow however much you want to by it, and it will not burn them. So the next thing on the project list for today is taking care of Jacob's garden. We're going to run through it with the tiller just to freshen up everything. I did go through it with the tractor tiller probably a week ago, right after we moved the chickens out. And just in case you don't know, this was our wintertime chicken coop. So it should be some fairly fertile soil in there, but he's got his own little collection of seeds here that he wants to put in. So what all you got?
Got some, what kind of sweet corn was this called? What was this called?
Hold it up. I think it was Devotion. Yep, Devotion. That was sent to you by a viewer.
Yeah. Then I got some hoppy turquoise corn.
That's something that you learned about in homeschool and you really took interest in, ain't it?
That's this blue corn.
Yep.
That's what it looks like. Then I got some cucumbers. What are these?
These are your Kentucky Wonder pole beans you're going to plant.
Yeah.
Now, those seeds, show them the ones you saved.
Yeah, these are the ones that I saved.
Which he didn't save very many, so I'm going to let him take some of the ones that we saved as well to add to it. What we're going to do with the corn, since corn will cross-pollinate with each other, the sweet corn is an 80-day corn. The blue corn is a 90-day corn. So that's a close enough window there that I'm worried if we plant both of them at the same time, they will cross-pollinate. So I think we're going to plant the blue corn today and give it a couple of weeks. And we're going to save a spot in here to plant the sweet corn. And that should allow enough time that cross-pollination shouldn't be an issue. But look at this, y'all. I think Jacob's gonna have some big time success right here.
Here's my better boys.
They're pretty, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, tomatoes, you want to dig them as deep as possible.
Okay.
There you go. Might want to bust your roots up just a little.
That's what I was gonna do.
You got it. I ain't got to tell you what to do.
No. Is that potato?
Where?
Right there.
There's potatoes everywhere around here. It sure is. It's a tater. Why in the world is there a tater right here?
Did we feed the taters? Did we feed the chickens taters any?
I don't know. There's no telling.
Every plant that I get that comes out of those, I just bust the roots. Even if they don't need it, I just still do it. Okay.
And there's your tag.
Okay. I'm gonna put it right here. It's probably gonna get cut over. If these grow super huge, that tag's gonna be covered up and I might have to move it.
Did they have a certain number of number of pieces of corn they put in a circle? Do you know?
I don't know. It was a few, not a whole bunch, because they would all get around each other and they would squeeze each other.
Look at this seed. Ain't that pretty?
Yep.
And I'm assuming what you're hoping is you'll get enough off of this to have you some seed.
Yeah.
To plant a whole lot of it.
Mhm. Okay.
You get them covered up and I'm going to show them these seeds. These are pretty.
Okay.
We ain't never grew no blue corn before. That's just plum. I can't wait to see what this looks like in an ear.
I know. I hope it'll look something like that.
So I was thinking you could plant you a circle right there and then plant a circle right here. And in between it, we could plant a cucumber plant.
Okay.
I think that would work. So put your next circle right here. Because you still want to keep it close to this circle so they'll pollinate with each other.
Well, if they're in a circle, they would.
They will, but it'll still help having everything close.
Okay. What I do is I dig it out like that, and then I dig it out with my hands. I'm not gonna plant it too close together, so in case they get too close together and they just crowd each other.
That's right.
There we go. Okay.
Is that all of it?
Yep. How deep should the cucumbers be?
Just barely under the dirt. That's deep enough.
Okay. I've been making grass fertilizer. I've been letting grass sit in water for a while. It's been sitting there for like a month and a half now.
You're making like a fertilizer tea, I guess you would call it.
It's like liquid fertilizer that's already liquidy.
Yeah. Yeah, I had forgot you were making that. Well, let me ask you this.
What?
Do you just want to use just your fertilizer on it, or would you still want me to put some of that other by it? Put about 3 seeds in each hole.
Yeah. You used to always tell me that, so that's what I'm still going to do.
Okay.
Okay, go to the next rock.
What do you want to do?
I think part of it, I want to see how my fertilizer does and compared to yours. And part of it, I want yours, and part of it, I want mine.
All right. So you want to kind of create an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I tell you what. Let's let everything come up.
Okay.
Before we fertilize anything.
Okay. So, like, we're not going to fertilize none.
We won't fertilize anything till it all comes up.
Okay.
That's kind of what I do in my garden anyways. And,
are we going to fertilize the tomatoes?
Yeah, you can go get your grass tea and put by those.
Okay.
But we won't fertilize anything else until it comes up. And we can judge by the color it looks like when it starts popping through the ground to whether what we're gonna need to do.
Okay. I'm not gonna put the rocks back because the cucumbers will already be right here.
Okay. You're gonna have more cucumber planted than we do.
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of cucumbers. And now we gotta plant the green beans and the cucumbers along here.
So, since we've put all these cucumbers over here, would you rather just let's plant half of this in green beans, and you can save that area right there for something else? You don't got to plant that many cucumbers. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So I just plant all this in just green beans?
Yeah.
First, I want to make all this right here my green beans.
Okay. Have you seen those pumpkins that are coming up out there?
Where'd they get?
Where we fed them pumpkins?
Oh, where we fed the pumpkins to the chickens. I want to see how them pumpkins do.
I'll be interested to see how they do too.
Oh no, I feel rain.
Well, good. Maybe we'll get a shower.
Maybe we'll get a shower when I get done.
Be the perfect time. You might ought to hurry up.
Okay.
Because that's right there is black.
Is this the last thing?
Yeah, it's the last thing for today. Then, like I said, we'll tear this spot right down the middle right here back up.
Okay.
Before we plant your sweet corn in it, but we'll give it a probably at least a week or two. We'll wait for this corn right here to get a couple inches high, and then we'll plant your sweet corn.
Okay. What?
You're like a dirt kicking machine.
Yeah. We got a circle of planted. We got a circle planted right here. Cucumber right here. Circle. And cucumber. And circle. Then cucumber. So over here, we got all green beans. And then this little section right here is my green beans. And then these are my better boys.
All right. Well, it's going to be a fine looking
garden. And before the rain comes, I'm going to go and quickly fertilize these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to get out his mixture.
Oh.
He wants to fertilize with that.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea.
My mixture. It stinks.
I'm sure it does stink.
And it's brown.
That is rotten, Jacob. Ew, that stinks.
How much?
I have no idea. I've never done anything like this, so.
Okay, I'm going to put that much.
What I want to know is where you come up with the idea.
Oh, I made some, but then I showed Mama.
He was making it anyway, and I said, well, you know that's fertilizer.
Well, I know one thing. It's rotten.
I know.
Golly. It should be pure nitrogen.
But the reason I did comfrey leaves is because I was talking about it to Daddy, and Daddy said the comfrey leaves are the best, so I tried it with comfrey leaves.
Yeah.
That's still working, isn't it?
Yeah, that's still making, so.
It's only been like a week ago since I did it.
It'll be probably be a month before it's ready, won't it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's going to about wrap it up for today. I guess we're going to call it an evening before the rain comes in. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope you might have learned a little something. Until we see y'all in the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.